Let's see how this video ends, because I think it's alright. So we quit the game. Nice menu. I see.
The final rage quit.
Hello everyone.
Hi everyone. Welcome to our new episode.
Today we moved to a new place. We went to, we bought an office, a creator office. Now we're here. Good.
Yeah.
Even in these crazy times, we are like all together.
We made good money with these Twitch live streams,
Today we're gonna look at
Sekiro. Hope you're gonna enjoy it.
Because we got this gameplay grass ending here. We got a nice cover that gives you protection, so you can still assess the situation there. And then you have these structures there, lines. You can see how these structures, tree and everything, is very visible because of the brightness of sky behind this silhouette. The trees here and the trees there are creating a sort of vignette kind of effect, like a natural vignette made with the plants, which is very strong because we got these walkways going up. Very good for light there. Got a light there which attracts the eyes, but what's important here is that the characters, probably the enemies here, they are not placed against the structure here. They're not like in front of the structure, but they're slightly offset, and that's to highlight their silhouette against sky. And that's a good way to tell you, oh, there is enemies there, so be careful. Lastly, from this location, they try to add that house there around this area when you're approaching. When you have a flanking route, you need to add some storytelling of this kind. So if you can, you just have a flanking route that you go inside from another entrance. But if you don't have that option, then sometimes it makes sense to create that sort of opening here, which is which will create entry point for the location. And you can see again this like signposting that ledge here. They know that some player will go through this the side entry, so they place a bit of access. In general, when you make a POI working on the entry point, it's really good because the POI or the location or the building that you're making can be entered by certain locations, and you know that at least one the player will use to go through. So if that's like a good way to focus the details where it's likely to play through. And you can see here there's like some spider net, you got some moss here, and obviously inside you got some lights there that guides you in there, and some lights there that tells that there is a stairs that's going up. You're going second floor. Are there guards on the second floor? Who knows? But at least now you're already. So this place looks like a place where people write things, so study books, and you can see the storytelling here. You can see here, books there. I guess there's some sort of paper thing here. Maybe they're writing something, and I think there's something here too, maybe some pen. So it's definitely like a place where people learn things, I guess. And what I like about this is that the stairs are not just stairs empty, but they use the same thematic of library or something on the steps to break that monotony of steps. So I think in general, if you have elements that are repeated a lot, like in this case, the steps of the stairs are repeated like times based on the steps that are there. So you can see, if you have the chance, and if the steps allows you, you can see how the silhouette of some steps is slightly deformed, and that's adding like that sort of storytelling layer to the asset step. You don't want to bend it at the end, you want to make sense where you bend it. So if you think about how people use the stairs, in this case looks like we're using in the middle, and that's when you're gonna add that sort of usage of the stairs. So if you assume that people are walking in the middle of the stairs, that's where you can add that sort of deformation to the steps to add that extra level of storytelling, which is like a small details, but it's those details that makes this game so great, in my opinion. What I'm about to say here.
I see a lot of water on the ground.
Exactly, guys. Puddles and water, they're never too many. If the water and the puddles can react with the blood of the NPCs that are dying on it, it's even cooler because it adds that sense of connection which a lot of games doesn't have between the characters and the environment. So you can see here the structures sort of ending. So like we got some wooden structures, and then we also have some stones at the bottom. So you can see how nice and curated the silhouette is, and that's like very important when you make like AAA game to work on the silhouette. If you're really focusing on the silhouette of shapes and things, it's this might be a good thing if you're working in Maya or any 3D software to apply a very flat material that doesn't receive any light information. So in that way, you will only see the shape of it, and you will not see the three-dimensionality of the object, which will let you focus more on the silhouette, which is very useful. And and also we got this like crack or like exposed stones here, which is a really good way to transition. We got some stones here, which are really cool. Which, as I always say, when you have a wall and then when you have a floor, you always try to work around this corner here, so that you don't see this like line of mesh intersecting with each other. Like in that case, I think there's like a stone, something like that, and then there's the terrain slightly going down like that, which connects that better. And then you can have some grass spawning there, so that you are creating a better transition between the
that's pretty good.
Talking about like this sort of details, you can see it on the rock here. There's like this wall here, and then there's the rock, some paddles here that are creating that sort of transition that we were talking about. It's good that you add paddles because it creates that sort of material contrast between a rough material and a soft material, which is really good in general. And when you place paddle, make sure that what's in front of you is bright enough to be reflected on the paddle. So you can see there's a light here that is like kind of bouncing on this paddle and then getting on your eye, which is really important, because if you add the paddle but the backdrop is dark, you will not see the paddle because there is nothing to reflect, because literally the paddle reflects light. You can see how there are planes there. There's like this plane here, which is one plane, and then we got the foreground, which is this plane, and then following the plane we got probably something like that, and then almost lastly we got this guy there, and then lastly we get first line of mountains and then the last line of mountains. So if you're making an environment like this, which is very open, try to create those sort of layering of objects and elements in your scene, so that you add a really good sense of that. In this case, the atmospheric fogs already does the job, because I feel like these objects are naturally far away in the space, which allows the fog to make the layers behind the other one brighter than the one before. And you can see also how the same rock, like let's take this rock here, this color of the rock here is the same rock everywhere, same color, but because the atmospheric fog, because it gets away from you, it gets brighter and brighter. So you can see how this color here is the same color as probably somewhere there. And if I sample this color here, it's this one, and if I sample that color there, this one. So you can see how the fog helping to transition these layers. And probably if I take this the color here, it's gonna be, see there. If I take the rock from here, it's gonna be even with that. But yeah, you can see how the same color over the distance it increases in brightness because of thanks to the atmospheric fog, and that's really good to create that sense of layering and sense of depth. Let's say that we wanted to highlight this structure better. What we do, we create some bright smoke so that it makes this area here popping out more, because there's a major contrast.
Balculo asked, how do you make these kind of decisions while working on a level? Do you set a camera and work from there? Maybe some sketches?
So in games, we can't really control the player's camera unless there are cinematics that takes over control the camera entirely. So what we do, we try to identify places where we know for sure the players will go through. So like a door or something that all the player has to go through because there is no other way to approach the next space. So by doing that, we create this bottleneck where we know that all the players are gonna go through that door, and we know that all the players gonna face forward. So in that case, we can plan ahead with the composition and the way we place things around. And you can have doors that you can go through. You can have things that you have to do, like some buttons that you have to press in a location that where you press it, it frames something. You can have a ledge that you only have to walk on it, which is, you know that the player is going to work on it. So you can have all different mechanics to know where those gates are. Yeah, thanks for watching. As always, guys, see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.